Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? What I have here today in this video is I want to talk to you guys about Google planning to cut out the services for the old Android market. So if you guys were not aware, when Android was first rolled out, it came out with its own version of the App Store as well, while Apple had their own. And it was originally known as the Android market, and then they replaced it with the Google Play Store, which is the most up-to-date app store for Android. And for anybody that is still running an older device that is still using the Android market, because if you are running that piece of software, then obviously that's the only app store that you have access to until you upgrade to the next generation of Android, or you go get one of the newest Android devices out there. And apparently Google is planning to stop the services for the old Android market because not that many developers are supporting it anyway, and there aren't that many people that are running the old devices anymore, so it doesn't make sense for them to keep running the services on the old Android market, because nowadays everyone, or at least mostly everyone, or everyone should be using the Google Play Store at this point, because Android is now updated. It's running the latest and greatest software out there from Google, and not only that, it has the full criteria that's out there right now for the apps. So when developers are creating the apps for the Google Play Store, is meeting the most modern standards out there. And I found this out from an article, which the link to that will be in the description below. It also mentioned about, like, okay, the effective date that this is happening, and which versions are affected. Therefore, if you're running that particular version of Android, we suggest that you do an upgrade, or you look into getting yourself a new device if your current device cannot support the newest version of Android out there, or at least close to it. And it makes sense for Google, because I mean, there's no point into running services that's outdated and that not that many people are using anymore. And I figure it makes it a little bit easier on Google, so that way they can support the newest software out there. The only difficult part that they're going to have, I would believe, is because that Android is an open platform, that you have all these third-party manufacturers taking their software and then putting their own twist to it. That's how you got all these different types of Android skins, whereas compared to Apple with iOS, they're the only makers of iOS, and therefore when they push out updates, it's pretty much going through every device out there, and at some point devices do stop updating or stop getting updates, but at least the app stores are still supported. I'm not 100% sure about from the 3GS and below that. I think Apple is still supporting the app stores for those, because I remember my iPhone 3G, I downloaded apps on that thing for a long time, even after it stopped getting software updates. Because iOS 4 ran terribly on it, but I was still able to download apps, okay, no problems. And then it came across certain apps where it's not running the latest version out there, but it can't run the latest version because Apple stopped at 4.2.1. Therefore, it's never going to be able to run that app. But there are very few apps that are still able to run on the iPhone 3G. But I would expect that at some point, no apps out there are going to be able to run on that thing anymore. And I guess the same can go for the first generation iPhone. So pretty much like smartphones, as they first roll out, at some point they're going to stop receiving updates and are going to be not supported by the manufacturer anymore. And that's the problem that we have with these devices out there. But then again, when you think about it, it's like a continuous pattern, because once something is distributed, you're excited about it, and then you look at that thing 20 years later, that thing is like antique right there, and that's part of history right there. Of course, there are going to be people that are going to complain about, oh man, my phone is not running the latest software, why do I have to buy a new one? Hardware changes as the years go by, and with those changes will also affect the application support due to the hardware. So I mean, that's just something that everyone's just gonna have to keep in mind. And honestly, Google is making the right move here, and they're not the only ones doing this. I mean, Microsoft with the Windows operating system are also doing this as well, because they stopped support for Windows XP, they stopped support for Windows Vista, and I mean, even before XP, they stopped support because obviously they're not going to support the old Windows operating systems anymore. So I mean, Google is not the only the only manufacturer or company that's doing this. It's also other companies out there. It just depends on like what kind of software they're doing this to. And this happens everywhere. Not just within the computer or smartphone industries. I mean, this happens in like every other industry out there. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Google made the right move? I mean, leave a comment down below. And also check out the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.